between 24 and 33 degrees Celsius.
Always take the weather with you. Mitsubishi.
Your radio voice is so different, so sassy, so sassy.
All right. Half a minute more, and then we'll come on. Okay.
Then we just can guide.
Okay.
Alright.
Something unusual or
So fun.
interesting.
It's been a
And
while.
caught it on
It's
camera.
been virtual for the last few
Share with
times.
us what you see.
I
Tell us
see.
about it through CNA.Asia, Telegram, Facebook, and our CNA app. Go to CNA.Asia/eyewitness for more details. See it, report it. Contribute to CNA Eyewitness because your tip-off matters.
Welcome to Mind Your Money with me, Hui Wong. Now, what part does emotion play in productivity? And in today's edition, we look at winning strategies to decode emotions and turbocharge your work performance. And this is the third in the trilogy of Secret Manuals. And this one is the Intuitive Warrior, written by Dr. Maxine Teo, who is also a very dynamic public speaker. Maxine, so good to see you again.
Hello, Hui. Such a wonderful feeling to be back here in the studio.
Now, let's start off by telling us, you've written and published 3 secret manuals in 5 years since 2020.
Yes.
And the most recent one, just last month. Please share with us how this concept behind the trilogy began and how the idea of Secret Manual came about.
Thank you. The inspiration behind writing a book started with my mother. And at that time, my mom would always ask me, "Baby, when are you going to write your book?" And that was 20 years ago. And each time my mom encourages me, reminds me, I would always push myself, I got to do it. And my mom was a fighter. She was a warrior. She has been in and out of hospital for decades, but she always emerged the winner. So when I finally decided to write a book, I like to call it The Warrior. And that's where I thought if warrior would be the 秘籍, as we say in Chinese, which translates to secret manual. That's how the whole idea came about. It's like a shifu, a master, transferring his or her skills to the disciples. So that's the quick gist of the story behind the Secret Manual Trilogy.
And you've inherited this warrior DNA from your mom.
Yeah, I would like to say that. I always tell my mom, "You're a warrior." She's like, "Yeah, warrior too, baby." I was like, yeah.
So the third of this series focuses on emotional intelligence. Why is it important to be equipped with this to survive in the corporate or business world, or life, in fact?
Being in the business world for more than 3 decades now, all these years I've always heard people focusing on financial health. And you need to get your money to working, talk about physical health, exercising how many times. But I think mental health has been neglected quite a bit, and it has become more and more open and more inclusive nowadays, especially since the recent pandemic, the COVID-19. And I thought that there's so many books on mental health, on be strong, be all that, and all the positive stuff. So I thought if and when I do write a book, which I did, I decided to focus on those that people shy away, which the more we avoid it, actually it becomes a bigger problem. Which is why I think we need to embrace that, be comfortable with these uncomfortable emotions so that we can really thrive, whether it's in our physical health or our financial health.
Yeah, to confront it, right?
Yes.
So what are the 12 emotions that you've chosen to highlight in your book?
Yeah, in fact, there's so many emotions, there are tons of it. And to choose the 12, I was guided by Google search trends. And in the last 2 to 3 years, the top 12 that came up, which actually today I brought for you a mind map, which I have all the 12 together, is actually ranked in order of the most searched uncomfortable emotions. So very quickly over the radio, I'll share with that. The number one, make a guess, it starts with the letter A.
Anger?
Anger came in top 5. It's anxiety.
Oh.
In Singapore, we say 緊張, everything very excited, very nervous. So of course, after anxiety is the big S word, which is the stress. So anxiety and stress always go hand in hand, right? When you're anxious, it makes you stressed. And then because work-related emotions that are uncomfortable are typically frustration and anger. You feel unfairly treated. You feel that things are not moving according how you want it to be. And then, of course, comes the part where depression and fear. Depression would be an extreme form of sadness where it is you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And of course, unfortunately, in the last few years, many people became more depressed and even took their own lives. And subsequently, by the seventh one, according to Google search trends, is boredom. So when you're so bored, no more purpose in whatever you do, that's where people keep jumping ship. And this is what a lot of employers have been telling me. It's so hard to retain my talent. And that is followed by jealousy. It's like, why are you better than me? I've worked hard. So jealousy is also guilt and shame goes hand in hand. Guilt is when you have done something against somebody and you feel bad about it. And shame is when you think you are not good enough. And that, of course, leads to sometimes the final two, which is disappointment. You feel disappointed in others, in yourself. And that also stems from insecurity. We talk about the imposter syndrome and being not good enough. So there you go, the top 12 most searched uncomfortable emotions that I have addressed, featured, and I want to help people to overcome them, embrace them, and turbocharge their work performance.
You know, when you mentioned these emotions, they're actually very complex. So how do you break it down for your readers to understand, appreciate it?
Yeah, thank you. And that leads to my approach in this book. It wasn't an easy process, I must say. I had a lot of bouncing of ideas with my publisher, Kok Hua. And in the end, I decided that it shouldn't be just my point of view, my research. Neither should I be just talking to experts who knows all the theoretical facts. I have a three-pronged approach. So first approach will be the 10 medical experts, wellness, from psychiatry, from psychology, to really break it down for us, simplify it for us, how each primary emotion branches into secondary emotions and how they're all related. And of course, that might sound theoretical to many of us, so that's why I have the second prong approach, which would be successful individuals like you, right? People who have been there, done that, who've been through ups and downs in our own laywoman language. How do we actually manage those? And of course, finally, based on my doctorate in psychology, I've also understood a lot of things which seemed very abstract in the past. So in my book, I made it very simple, very readable, very conversational, to help our readers break it down and understand their own emotions even better.
Yeah, and this particular book, the third one, is the thickest of the three.
Yes, right? I brought them here, so thick.
And what's the reason, behind what you're doing, and what differentiates this from the other two that you've written?
Thank you. That leads me to bring back to the point when I said the trilogy. I started with the first book was me, myself, and Maxine. So the Secret Manual of the Sales Warrior. So I am the sales warrior, so it was me interviewing myself. So it was a reasonable sized book. Second one, I interviewed people from 4 different generations. One from the East, one from the West, total of 8 individuals. And that includes my precious son, Cohen Sim, who's from the Gen Z. And the third book, which I just shared just now, is 3-pronged. So you can imagine with 3-pronged, 10 experts, 12 working professionals, plus me. There you go. It almost became an encyclopedia. I had to keep chopping it and making it more palatable for our readers.
Condense it for us. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so share with us your core strategy, which is the MIND framework.
Yes, that's right. In this MIND framework, MIND, I thought of the word first and I thought, how do I blend into my approach? So maybe going back to a little bit about the inspiration behind the Intuitive Warrior. Since I was a little kid, I've always sensed that my father seemed to know a lot of things without me saying it. And I think I inherited a little bit of that because people keep telling me that, how do you know that? I didn't even say it. So I thought, well, M in the MIND framework, first one is to monitor. This is something that I constantly do subconsciously, and this is what most of us don't do enough. We just go with the flow, and before we know it, we are a wreck sometimes. So constantly monitor your feelings, know what is not so right, what's not so good. Which is interpret. Some of us, we just know something is wrong, and we hope to sweep it under the carpet, have an ice cream, and forget about it. But interpret is to question yourself. Why am I feeling this way? What just happened? Did someone say something to me that makes me feel like my heart is a little bit heavy? And that comes to the end, which my book will come in handy because I have made it so simple to name. And for name, you name the emotion. Just like if you name it, you can tame it. If you do not know what's going on, how are you going to address it? Just like driving a car, you see the light is blinking. If you do not know what's the issue, how would you know? Is it petrol? Is it the engine? And then finally, the D is to develop. So it's not about just naming it and say, okay, I know what's next. Is develop strategies. And I've also incorporated one of the profiling tools, which I love, is True Colors, that different folks require different ways of managing and developing their options. A quick example, as you can tell from me physically, I'm very colorful. So for me, I need action, action, action. So when I'm angry, I'm not just going to like, and keep quiet, right? I need to let it out. Maybe I need an anger room. I need to trash things. I need to go for a run. But someone who's more mellow, who's more introverted, they might prefer music or just be quiet, etc., etc. The list can go on. All the secrets in the Secret Manual.
Oh, so this is sort of a self-help book, you would say?
Yes, I would say that it's like a secret manual for yourself.
And through the extensive work that you and your collaborators have done, what are some winning stories to relate where someone has been able to turn their negative narrative to a positive one, and how has that impacted their career growth journey?
I would like to talk about my longest time friend, Nicole Ng. In fact, she was the one who encouraged me to not just interview medical experts, but to also talk to real people who have been through that. And she is one fine example. She's been my friend for 33 years and counting, hopefully for the rest of our lives. We are of the same age. And she has been through depression herself. And most people think once you're in depression, that's it. You are screwed for life. You got to take medicine for life. You got to be dependent. But she is one fine example who has managed to overcome her own depression, in fact, will herself to stop being reliant on pill therapy, to talk therapy, and now she's just finding ways to love herself. So being my friend and having seen her through decades, I know she is a walking testimony of someone who has been through that and have emerged being a stronger person.
Now, you're not only an author, you're also a corporate facilitator, and then you went to go on to study psychology.
Yes.
So how do you marry all your experiences into this book?
Thank you. That's a brilliant question, because I think one of the key reasons for even wanting to write a book is to create a legacy that I can leave behind, and hopefully for centuries to come. All these years, people have always said, Maxine, you're irreplaceable. We want to engage you and only you, not any of your team members. I said, but I am only human, right? I'll reach a point where my brains will slow down, my energy will slow down. How can I leave a legacy behind, put my ideas, my experiences down, such that others can follow? And that's where the book came about. So I would say my books are a culmination of all my life experiences. In fact, many of the words that I've been just saying has become like very powerful phrases that people like to quote me. So in my first book, I have 12 quotes, which are words that I constantly say. And my personality is also reflected in my book. I know you had a chance to read it, and it is a conversational dialogue style of writing. So whoever has read it have told me that, Maxine, I feel like you're standing right in front of me talking to me. So I'm really happy to say that my books have encapsulated my spirit, my energy, most of my ideas, not all. So I'm still me. And of course, I'm happy to say it will leave a legacy behind for many generations to come.
The very first time I heard you speak was at an event, and you managed to, how should I say, draw and capture the audience's attention.
Oh, thank you.
So that was good. And I also want to find out, for you personally, how do you cope with negative emotions?
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you brought out the word negative. It's been used so often. I think to call it positive or negative could be not reflective, because negative sounds like it's bad. And that could lead to toxic positivity. I was guilty of
toxic positivity.
I'm about to explain. Thank you. I was guilty of that for a long time. It means when people are down, say, come on, you got this, we will get better. But I'm feeling down, you will snap out of it. So it makes it seem like it is not okay to be not okay. That becomes toxic, right? People will conceal it, they'll pretend to be okay. Fine, I'll smile, do you want me to be happy? So that's where I realized that negative emotions would actually skew it to one side. So I call them uncomfortable emotions in my book. It's true they're uncomfortable. Anger and jealousy and all those that I listed just now, stress, they are uncomfortable. Honest to goodness, I tell you the truth, I have been experiencing that quite a fair bit as well in my last few years in my kind of work. Every day being in front, traveling, and each time I'm down, I actually remind myself what I wrote in my book. I know, sometimes I read my own book. It's so funny that a chef enjoys their own dish. I enjoy reading my own book and it's like, oh yes, come on, wake up your ideas. My point here is no matter how strong you are, we all need someone to help us, either through books, either through experts or a trusted friend. So how I manage my uncomfortable emotions is to address them. My friends and family always think I'm always happy, always smiling, but my loved ones, my sisters will know that I hide my emotions, but that's only to the public. When I'm back home, I deal with them, I address them, and that's how I keep going.
Wow, it's really good of you to share that with us. You know, to be human, right? To
Yes.
be human is so important.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you came by and to share with us, and I'm sure our listeners will want to get a hold of this book, right?
Thank you.
Dr. Maxine Teo, she is a corporate facilitator and author of the trilogy, The Secret Manual of the Sales, Engaging and Intuitive Warrior. If you'd like to pick up copies of her books, they are available at all major bookstores and candidcreation.com. For Mind Your Money, I'm Hui Wong on CNA938.
Thank you, Hui. That was fun.
Yeah, so important to address, right?
I know.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
We were having a good chat.
Yeah.
You hear what I was saying?
Yeah.
I was
Well,
jealous. I
never-
was jealous we have a good chat with us, so I chat with you.
Ah.